Hello, everyone, and welcome to Racing Stories, Stories of Racing, with Doug Kenny and myself, Justin Butler. Today, we have Bill Hynes with us today. How are you, Bill?
Hey, I'm doing good, but thanks for having me on your show. I'm always excited to talk about racing.
That's good to hear. As everybody probably can see from the background, is a stadium super truck driver. And that's a really great series, don't you think, Bill?
Yeah, I've been with Stadium Super Trucks from the beginning in one form of capacity or another. So I started sponsoring a driver, former IndyCar driver, EJ Vizo. And then from that, I started racing as well. And I've have the second most starts of all time, second to Robbie Gordon. And so I'm one of the older veterans of the sport. So, yeah, it's definitely an exciting series for sure.
Definitely. Last month, I went to Nashville and I saw some pretty interesting action. And back when Robbie Gordon was in NASCAR, I used to follow his career with his 7-car race, his number 7 car with Jim Beam and all that. And ultimately, the team shut down, as we all know. And after he kind of left NASCAR, I didn't know what happened to him or what he had moved on to until last month in Nashville when I saw him competing in those trucks. And I was glad to see he's having fun.
Oh, yeah. Robbie was obviously an IndyCar. Robbie is big in the off-road. He got that from his father, Baja Bob Gordon. So he's competed in, the Baja 500, the Baja 1000, Parker, you name it. He's been doing it. And then he started Stadium Super Trucks in 2013. He modeled it off of the Mickey Thompson off-road series. But what he wanted to do is get a racing vehicle that could basically race on any surface. And then in conjunction with that, he wanted to make it more exciting. So that's why we put ramps out there. And so Robbie, he engineered and built all of the trucks himself. So they're all Robbie Gordon Motorsport, they're very technical machines, and they're probably one of the hardest racing vehicles to drive in the world. So any driver that's racing these Stadium Super Trucks, they're very talented individuals. And look at Sheldon Creed in the NASCAR truck series. He's champion from last year, and he's won the first 2 races in the playoffs this year. So he's a 2-time Stadium Super Truck champion. So it translates very well as you go further in your racing career.
That's great. So if Sheldon Creed if he ever wins a NASCAR championship, he technically has Robbie to thank for that, probably.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's won obviously the championship last year in the Truck Series, and I think next year, I think he's got a good shot to winning the Truck Series again this year, and I think next year he'll go to Xfinity Series, and then maybe he's 2 years away from going to the Cup Series. So, yeah, I mean, he has a lot of people to thank, Sheldon Creed. I mean, he's got a good support system. His grandfather is a big supporter of his father and mother, and obviously Robbie Gordon was working with him since he was 14 years old. So the kid's going to be a star. He's absolutely going to be a star.
That's great to hear. So, Justin, fire away with some questions.
Well, so how many wins do you have, Bill?
Well, in Stadium Super Trucks, unfortunately, I only have 1 win, but it's very hard to win in Stadium Super Trucks. You're going up against people like, Casey Mears and Greg Biffle and Robbie Gordon and Matt Brabham and Burt Jenner and Ari Lyondike Jr. I mean, you name it. You got Ricky Johnson and so many talented drivers, and they're so hard. So when you win a race in Stadium Super Trucks, everything has to go right for you that race. But so I have many podiums and so many top 5s, top 10s. In sport car, I have lots of wins. I won a championship in an endurance series in the NASA series. So I won an endurance championship in 2017. I think I won like 8 of the 12 races that year. So, it's finishing a Stadium Super Truck race, even if you're 10th it's almost like a win because it's so much fun. Literally, you're hitting the jumps. You saw it, and you hit the jump and like literally you can lose the race. You can finish 10th, 11th, 12th, and you take your helmet off. Everyone has a smile on their face. So
that's really cool. I saw the jumps in Nashville, and my favorite parts had to be during the caution when drivers would purposely only use 2 wheels on the ramps and then go sideways to entertain everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody was clapping when that happened.
Well, you see, that's what Stadium Super Trucks is. We don't take ourselves too serious. So our main goal is to entertain the fans. That's what we're doing. But we're real racing. So I'd like to say we're the WWE of Worldwide Wrestling Entertainment of racing. But our racing is real. It's not scripted like WWE is. Like, so whoever wins wins. We don't like pick like you win today, because if that was the case, I would want a lot more. Believe me. But it's not predetermined, but we really like to just entertain the fans. So we'll do what those are called expression sessions. So Robbie or Matty Brabham or Sheldon will go on 2 wheels. Some of us will drift and do some donuts, put on a nice smoke show for the fans. So it is really all about entertaining the fans. So if anyone's at our race, if you come by our paddock area and our garage area, we'll let them sit in the trucks. We'll turn it on for them so they can feel the energy of that truck. So you got a 650 horsepower Chevy LS7 engine, and when you can feel that, it's palpable.
I've also noticed that Stadium Super Trucks, compared to what you find in NASCAR, the drivers and even some of the team owners are more accessible to the fans, like Victory Lane and all that. When Robbie Gordon won the first race, I had a brief moment where I got to interact with him after his speech, and I got to shake his hand and congratulate him on the win. And that really was a good moment.
Yeah, in NASCAR and F1 and even IndyCar, you really don't have that exclusive access to the drivers. Whereas with us, we understand that without the fans, we're nobody. So the fans come to pay to see us. And you saw when you're at Nashville, the fans for us, they come to the fences and they're 10, 15, 20 deep. In Australia, same thing. We were in Beijing, China, like so many fans came to us. So we know that we have to interact with the fans. We want them to sit in our trucks. We want them, turn on the engines. And, sometimes we take them on 2-seater rides so they can feel what it is to hit a jump with us, so it's definitely an exciting form of motorsport, and we love our fans, and our fans are pretty crazy. So we love that.
Believe me, I definitely will go back to one of those races one day.
Yeah, you should.